Sound good, right? Okay, okay, good, good, good. Okay, then let's begin. I don't want to waste your time. I know that time is money, especially you are very busy every day, and thanks for coming back. Really, I thanks for that. You come back to my live broadcast. This is the biggest support for me. But I still, if I'm not asking too much, I hope that you can share with your friends around you so that more and more people can come and learn and improve with me. Okay? So I mentioned today I'm going to talk about something interesting, right? So today I'm going to tell you a story about the US dollar, okay? So DXY story, the road to world number one currency. How the US dollar become the world number one currency? So maybe some people of you already know roughly because the US, the economy is the strongest in the world. But do you know the details? Today I'm going to share with you the details why US dollar is number one in the world. Okay, the second part I will still save for you as individual stock analysis. Okay, so before we begin, I still need to remind you that all the stocks mentioned in the video are for the purpose of demonstration and education, no recommendation. Investors should be aware of the risks involved in stock trading and take full responsibilities for their own tradings. Okay? Okay, so this is how you can subscribe to my channel. If you haven't yet subscribed, yeah, kindly click this subscribe button and also turn on this bell. Make sure that you have taken the option all so that you will get all the information. You will be informed in future immediately I have new uploadings. Okay, so how the US dollar become world number one currency? Because I mentioned in yesterday's video that the first meeting will be held yesterday, right? So it turns out that the result is the US has decided that they will hold the rate steady, the interest rate steady near zero, and they said that it will stay zero for years. So this is no big change from previous announcement, right? So that's why if you check yesterday the performance, the US dollar still remain in the sideways area I mentioned yesterday, right? Because the news is no big change for so that's why the US dollar no progress, still no progress, and same for the gold. If you check the price for gold, as yesterday it actually dropped a bit, but still within the sideways area I mentioned yesterday, right? So maybe we have to wait for some other news or some other catalyst to let's say stimulate the US dollar and gold to make some decisive movement in future, right? And yesterday I mentioned about the gold stocks, right? Because the performance for gold is still uh, like no progress, right? So for the gold stocks, I believe most of them also still within the sideways area. Yesterday I mentioned about several gold stocks, right? But the buy points for these gold stocks not yet confirmed. I mentioned two of them are quite inactive because the volume too small. The rest four, including the barrier gold, right? They're okay. The volume okay, the trend okay. They're above the yellow lines of homely rainbow, but the buy point not yet be confirmed. I said we're waiting for the confirmation, but it turned out that yesterday the Fed's decision about the interest rate because no change. So this is not a catalyst for the for gold to make some decisive movement in near future. We still have to wait. Okay, for the gold stocks also you still have to wait. Okay, and also yesterday we see the Nasdaq, the U.S. market, it dropped let's say, quite significantly. It's not a very big drop, but still quite significantly, right? So if we check, so Nasdaq now is still at the support of the yellow lines of homely rainbow. I mentioned in my previous videos for several times. For at least in near future, the U.S. market will remain volatile within the support and the resistance level, right? So the resistance is the previous yellow Tai Chi signal. So it would just fluctuate within the support at the yellow rainbow lines and the resistance at the yellow Tai Chi signal. I already mentioned that for several times, right? So it will remain volatile, unchanged. And then if we check the performance for the individual stocks for Nasdaq, so I already done a rank. This is the rank I do the rank based on the price change rate from this is based on the still based on the market value. So I rank based on market value. So we see the heavyweight stocks, the high tech giants. So all of them drop, right? So then pay attention. Apple, we have the press conference yesterday, right? But it's not big news for Apple because just some smartwatch, no new iPhones. So it's not like something will stimulate Apple's price to go up. And then Microsoft, Amazon, all these stocks drop, and including Tesla. Tesla dropped a bit, not so much. But remember yesterday I mentioned for Tesla. For Tesla, I said that if you want to in the mini chart, right? I mentioned in the mini chart, Tesla is a sell point. In the 30-minute chart, we have a red circle, right? So that's why yesterday we see Tesla also no big move because for short term, it's not the right entry point. I mentioned yesterday for Tesla, if you want to trade, you better check the mini chart to trade, right? 30-minute chart. So yesterday before the market open and in the noon I mentioned you check the mini chart and Tesla turned out to be the first red circle in the 30-minute chart. So let me switch market to the US. And when it's processing data, we can continue to check some other you see NVIDIA also dropped quite a lot, right? So recently we have the acquisition news about NVIDIA, but still I mentioned at that moment several days ago that no buy point yet, right? So if you follow the indicators, you follow the circle, because no buy point, you will not jump into the stock only because we have the good news about the acquisition, right? So that's why it's important to follow the software, the indicators. You follow your judgment, your decision can be more objective, more scientific, and your success rate can be higher than you just follow your intuitions or follow the news. Okay, and so yeah, this is NVIDIA. And also for Adobe, recently I actually watched some other videos who said that wow, Adobe actually is a very, very good company with a great potentiality in future, but that's maybe for value investing for very super long term. But for short term, you want to jump into it after you heard about the news. Wow, no, it dropped sharply by 4%. So that's a very big jump, right? Okay. So that's roughly about the market performance for the high-tech giants and why the Nasdaq dropped a lot yesterday, because the high-tech giants, they dropped quite a lot yesterday, right? And then let's go to the important part, the interesting thing I want to share with you about the US dollar, the road to world #1 currency. So how US dollar become world #1 currency? Because I feel that many people or many friends, maybe they don't know much about the basic knowledge of the financial area. But financial area, we have a lot of things to do. So I hope that my videos can help you learn some basic knowledge and also some trading skills and maybe I can help you adjust your mindset a bit. The purpose is to help you improve your investment um, system, your trading system, so that you can do better and better. Because for Homely, we believe that all the winners in the stock market are learners. If you want to become constant winner in the stock market, you have to keep learning. You have to keep learning all the time. And for me, also every day I'm learning things about the financial area, about some trading skills and some knowledge. So I hope you can keep learning with me and keep improving with me. Okay? So yeah, so how the US dollar become world number one currency? So it goes back to the World War II. After the World War II, so we have this Bretton Woods system established. So you can Google. It's very easy. You Google Bretton Woods system, you will get the details. Actually, it's organization consists of 44 countries. Back at that moment, the strongest 44 countries in the world. So these 44 countries, they form this Bretton Woods system, and this system has stipulated that the US dollar will be pegged to gold. So US dollar is pegged to gold. At that moment, sorry, it's gone. So I think that it's pegged to gold. So according to the rules set by them by the Bretton Woods system, so the I think it's a 35 US dollars. 35 US dollars equals to 1 ounce of gold. Yeah, they have make it as the rule that if you have 35 US dollar, then you can exchange 1 ounce of gold. Okay, so this is the first step. When US dollar is pegged to the gold, then a US dollar suddenly becomes very important, because we know back at that moment in World War II, after World War II, gold is the most reliable currency in the world. It's the most reliable currency in the world. All people in the world, they believe in gold. They trust gold, right? So if US dollar is directly pegged to the gold, then US dollar become the most important currency in the world, right? And that's why we counted, and up until now we see that the US dollar and the gold, they are natural enemy. I mentioned yesterday, right? Why they are natural enemy? Because they are competing for world number one, as the status, the place as the world number one currency. But already we know the result of the story. US dollar has taken the place of gold as the world number one currency, right? But it's a process. So how US dollar become the world number one currency? First step is pegged with with the gold, right? And then the second step is it is unpegged. It's unpegged with gold. So it happens in 1970s when the Bretton Woods system broke down. Okay, after it broke down, and the U.S. announced that U.S. dollar is unpegged with the gold. Why U.S. Was doing that? Why they unpegged? Because if a lot of people, they want to exchange gold, then the gold in US will become less and less. That's not a good thing for US, right? So if all gold flow out of US, then US feel, wow, it's bad for me. So that's why they decide to unpeg US dollar with the gold. Then you might ask, since US dollar is unpegged with the gold, then why US dollar is still remain its status, its role as the world number one currency? Why is that happening? So Anyway, this virtualization of US dollar completely set itself free, and then the US dollar become the real most powerful currency all over the world. So, for one thing is, after unpacked with the gold, US government can print as much money as they want. They can print as much money as they want, and still the people all over the world, they have to use US dollar because it's still the world number one. No other currency can replace its role as world number one. Why? Then why is that? So the third step is US actually they have taken a series of measures to enhance its role as the world number one world currency. What kind of measures? Okay, so firstly, of course, its status as the world number one economic entity. So it's the world number. The its economy is the strongest in the world. So this is the is unarguable truth, right? So U.S. is the economy of U.S. is world number one. Why the U.S. economy is world number one? Because of its high tech. It has the strongest, the most powerful high technologies. So that's why we see the US stock market. You see the heavyweight stocks are all high tech companies. Apple, Google, Amazon, Facebook, and even Tesla, right? All these stocks, they are the they have the high technology, the most advanced technology in the world. So high technology is the real factor that props up the US economy as world number one economy. So it means what? In future, technology companies listed in US, they still will be our good choices to invest. Although currently the US, the technologies companies, they are a bit weak, right? But in the long run, after this correction, in future, they might give us even greater opportunities. So now we are having some rise. The technology companies, they are having some rise, but in future, they still will be our good choices to pick. Not now, maybe. It's not the right timing. They need some rest. Just to give them some rest. After that, they will give us bigger chances, big rallies in future. Because high technology is the center of the competition in the world. I mentioned that in my first video, remember? Yeah, okay, so this is the first strategy or first measure taken by the US to maintain its to maintain the US dollar as the world number one currency. And then secondly, US is the one who set up the international credit rating system. So since the rules are all decided by US, of course, US will rate itself as highest credit level. So if its credit level is very high, of course, people have no choice but to trust the US dollars because its credit is the highest level. People have no choice but to trust it, right? And thirdly, the US have forced some international organizations to accept the US dollar as an important part. For example, the WTO or the World Bank, right? So they all have to accept the US dollar as the as one most important component. So that's why let's say in the WTO, if you want, you need to pay some membership fee, right? In the WTO, you pay the membership fee, you have to pay it. You have to pay US dollar. So yeah, then that's why US dollar has been the most important world currency. The other factor, and also finally, the US even use its military force to provide some support to the US dollar. How it happens? The US actually has formed alliance with the Saudi Arabia. So we know that Saudi Arabia has the most has the biggest storage of oils, right? So the biggest oil country is Saudi Arabia. So US has promised to protect the Saudi Arabia with its army, its forces, to protect the safety of Saudi Arabia. But in exchange, Saudi Arabia have agreed that all its oil tradings must be settled in US dollar. If you want to buy oil from Saudi Arabia, sorry, you have to pay by US dollar. If you don't have US dollar, how to buy the oil, how to buy oils from Saudi Arabia, right? Because Saudi Arabia is the biggest oil country, right? So if it has very strong influence over some other oil producing countries. So if you have to buy oil in US dollar, so of course US dollar will be very important, will be the world number one currency. Okay, so this is how US dollar has become the world number one currency in the world. So I have learned this recently, so that's why I want to share with you so that you can know more knowledge, basic knowledge about this financial area. It will be helpful for your stock investment in future. Okay, so that's about my sharing for today. Now I will leave the time for you. So you want to diagnose any individual stock? Any stock you want to check? Your individual stocks to check. You can either write in the live chat section or you can WhatsApp me privately. Okay, so 5WH. Wow. Okay, it's interesting. Yeah, it's about oil, right? 5WH. Let's check 5WH. The real-time chart. 5WH Rex. Okay, so for Rex, because currently we are checking the mini chart. Just now I switched to the mini chart, right? So let me switch back to the daily chart first. Okay, so if we check the daily chart for Rex, yesterday is a very forceful rally, right? So we always believe that long term first, short term next. If we check the homely rainbow, so we realize that yesterday the price is very close to the blue lines and yellow lines of rainbow, means very strong resistance above. That's why today we see the price the high price touch the blue line of rainbow and then turn downward, a drop. Yeah, because of the resistance. So this is we check the resistance levels based on rainbow, and then below we check for multicolored dragon. Oh, this is okay. So let me change a bit the indicator. Okay, so for multicolored dragon, we still see too much retailers, around 75%. Big boys just around 25%. So it's not that weak. It's not that strong for the big boys. And if you want the price to go up at a very fast speed and smoothly, the retailers have to disappear. The big boys have to reach at least 50%. Yeah, recently we see the yellow lines and the blue lines as strong resistance. The rainbow lines, right? And then just now we were checking the mini chart. For very short term, if you check the mini chart, 30-minute chart, right? Just now we were checking the 30-minute chart. I think 30-minute chart is not that active already for Rex, but still you can check a bit. Red and white circle. You see, already changed to white circle in the 30-minute chart. So for super short-term trading, buy low, sell high. But this is super short-term trading, quite speculative. If you are not that type, super short-term trading, intraday control, better you don't touch REX, this kind of stock as REX, unless the price can really break up the resistance of the homely rainbow. Then we know it may have chances in future. And also, retailers need to disappear, big boys need to increase. Okay, so this is for REX. And then some other XPEV. XPEV. Let's check. XPONG. Is it XPONG? Let me check. XPEV. No, yeah, it's XPONG. I remember it's XPONG. Okay, so for XPONG, it's interesting because this is a new IPO. After it's a newly listed share, right? So the IPO is not a long time ago. So I mentioned for new IPOs how to deal. Firstly, you check the Tai Chi signal. Currently, we already have. This is the blue Tai Chi, right? So after the blue Tai Chi signal, the following day, the price failed to stand above the high price of the blue Tai Chi signal. So that's why we cannot buy. At the same time, we see it's Y circle all the time. And then recently we have a red circle, right? It's 14th September, we have a red circle. And after the first red circle, the second day, it is a confirmed buy point for sure, because the close price is higher than the high of the first red circle candle. But don't forget to set your stop loss, right? So your stop loss should be the half level of this bullish candle for 14th September. The price is around $19.80. $19.80 will be your stop loss level. If the price below this level abates, you can consider to leave first for short term. But if the price remain above, currently the drop is still above, right? Above the half level. So actually you still can hold, wait and see. This half level is acting as support for XPONG. And if a get support, turn upward, you can keep holding. If it drop below the level, $19.80, you can set your stop loss as $19 maybe 75 cents, right? So so that you will always avoid the big losses, and then make sure you can catch opportunities. And currently we see the share, the big boys, because it's just below, it's still below 25%. If in near future the price go up, the big boys increase to 50%, 25% at least, that will be better for XPONG. So currently, if you have bought, I'd like to say, well, your buy point is not wrong, but you need to set your stop loss, because I'm not saying that you follow the homely software, the success rate is 100%. It's not 100%, but the success rate is high. It's 87.6%. Yeah, around 87% success rate. So you follow it, most of the times you can make profit, sometimes even greater profit, and you will not lose much if you follow the principles here. Okay, so this is for XPONG. And then 42N. 42N should be a Singapore penny stock. 42N. IPS. Wow. Okay, so we check for IPS 42N. 42N now is at a strong resistance of the blue lines of homely rainbow. So we check for retailers around 50%, around 50%. The big boys is just around 25%. So faced with strong resistance, if the energy supply is not strong enough, then it will be very difficult for the price to break up the resistance level here. That's why we see today the price used to rise to a very high level, but then after that it drop. And then if we check volume, I think the share, the volume may not be that high. Check. The volume is a bit low. Yeah, volume is a bit low. Yeah, so but still the candlestick charts, the candles are okay. They are at least normal candles. Only that the share now is faced with very strong resistance. It's very strong resistance. Okay, so the other friend asked about WPM. Is it good to long to hold? WPM. Let me check this WPM. WPM. Precious metal. Oh, yeah. WPM. Okay, so for WPM, it depends on what price you have entered. If you have bought previously at a low position, for example, when the price firstly stand above the yellow lines of homely rainbow, at that moment, if we go back to check the history, this is when the price stand above the yellow lines of homely rainbow. We see when the big boys increase to 50%, this candle, it marks the beginning of a rally. So this is the buy point. Okay, so if you have bought at that moment, then you keep holding until when? Until now, because we don't have buy points after the we don't have sell point after the buy point here. Why? I mentioned for homely rainbow, for medium term to long term trading, you follow the yellow lines. If the price remain above the yellow lines all the time, no need to sell. Okay, if your buy point is very low, back in April, around $31.84, then you still can hold. You still can hold until maybe a very long time into future, because the general direction for US dollar may be down. The US dollar will remain weak. Why the US dollar will remain weak? Because the interest rate will remain near zero for a very long time into future. Already been made very clear by the US Fed, right? So if that in that case, I think US dollar would remain weak for a while. If US dollar is weak, then gold would be strong, right? Remain strong. The general direction should be up. So that's what we were talking about today, about the relation between the US dollar and the gold, how they become the natural enemies to each other, right? Okay, so but if you didn't buy previously at a low position, all right, if you have bought, let's say after this correction, this is regarded as a significant one because it already touched even the last yellow line of homely rainbow. Then you buy back again around this area until now, you still can hold. You still can hold. But if you didn't buy at this moment, then for now, how about now? For now, if you want to buy, I mentioned yesterday, this is the first red circle, right? First red circle, if you you want to buy at least for short term first, because you never buy before, right? If you didn't buy before, now you're considering to buy it. You at least need to wait until the price break up the high of the first red circle candle. The high price is $55 7 cents. Okay, 07 50.07. So if the price can break up the high price here, for short-term trading, you may consider to buy. And because this is a long-term sideway here, already lasting for roughly 1 month sideway, because the price for gold also sideway there for 2 months, right? The gold stocks would follow the gold price, right? So if, let's say in near future, the price for gold make decisive movement, finally choose direction to go up again, then maybe for the gold stocks, you can also consider to buy. You buy based on the signals here. Okay, this is for short term. After you buy here, if in future the price go up to a very high level, the price is already very far away from your cost level. Your cost maybe after you buy is around the $55, right? It's around $55. If in future the price for gold is so up, for this one it's so up to $60. Wow, it's already far away from your cost. You also can consider hold for medium term trading until in future the price really drop below the yellow lines of homely rainbow, then you can consider to sell. Okay, so that's how you can deal with such kind of gold stocks like WPM. Okay, I think it's about the time that we call it an end today. So I'm looking forward to sharing with you more tomorrow, more interesting things and instructive things tomorrow. And in the end, I still want to say that if you feel this video is helpful and interesting, instructive, feel free to share with your friends. So your support will be my biggest motivation